What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Seat Radio. My name is Corbin. Before we get into the actual video today, I do have a quick announcement to make, and that is that Red Seat Radio officially has merchandise. For the first time ever, we have official Red Seat Radio merch on this channel. There's hats, there's sweatshirts, there's shirts, there's stickers, there's all sorts of stuff. So if you feel like you want to rock some Red Seat Radio apparel wherever you go, the link is going to be in the description of this video. It's also on my YouTube page as well. So if you scroll over to store on my YouTube page, all of the apparel is right there. You can purchase it there as well. Don't feel like you guys have to buy anything, but if you guys do want to rock that, it is now available. Super cool. Thank you all for the support and helping me get here. Anyways, Red Sox season is officially over. Obviously, this team is not going to be making the postseason, so last night's game was the last game of the season for the Boston Red Sox. They were able to finish on a strong note, though, being able to sweep the Tampa Bay Rays at home to finish out this season. And to be honest with you, this series, like I said with the last series as well, kind of feels like a funeral of sorts. I don't know if it had to do with Eck leaving or the uncertainty of this team, but either way, right, with this season coming to an end, the Boston Red Sox are looking at a very important crossroads here, and that's what we're talking about today. We're going to be talking about all the moments in this series that made it feel like a true end of an era, and we're going to be talking about where the Red Sox go from here. The season's over. What now? But before I get into that, do me a favor, make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day, including the offseason. There's going to be some uncertainty with you guys in this channel. We're still talking Red Sox 24/7. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button as well on this video. It helps out a ton. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. So we're not going to do a traditional recap like we've been doing the entire year. We're going to go through the biggest moments of this series. And then one of the biggest moments of the series was Nate Evaldi getting his last start at Fenway Park for this season and maybe forever. Nate Evaldi's future is extremely uncertain, so he got his last start at Fenway and he ended up going 5 innings, allowing no runs and striking out 4. It was kind of a perfect ending to Nate Evaldi's if this is his tenure here with the Boston Red Sox. It was a fantastic outing. It really did look like genuine old Evaldi. His velo still down, but it was still nice to see him kind of dominate an AL East team like we've kind of known and grown to love with Nate Evaldi. JD Martinez had a fantastic last game with the Boston Red Sox. He had a 2-home run game, and like I said when we were talking about him in the last series, this truly does feel like JD Martinez is giving it all to give a proper goodbye to the fans of the Red Sox. It is highly unlikely that the Red Sox are going to bring JD back in the future. Obviously, it's not out of the realm of possibilities, but you got to assume the odds aren't very good. So for him to go out there and be able to hit those 2 home runs in his most likely final game in a Red Sox uniform at Fenway Park was truly something special to watch. He also got his moment where he was taken out of the game, and I believe it was the 5th or the 6th inning. The whole stadium stood and clapped for him. He was hugging everybody. It was a really, really cool moment for JD Martinez. I hate to even put his name in here, but Xander Bogaerts, who his future is uncertain with the Red Sox as well, did have his moments in this series as well. He had a grand slam in the second game of this series, really the last runs of the game before the game got rained out, and it was an absolute bomb. Truly what we are used to from Xander Bogaerts, just an absolute tank into the night sky and the bat flip that we've grown to know and love. He also had a multi-hit game in the last game of this series, and I think that if he does leave, that's a fitting way to depart for Xander Bogaerts. He truly is one of those guys who just gets on base, right? At the end of the day, he's got power, yes. He has the ability to drive the ball to all parts of the field, yes, but he's always been known in the Red Sox uniform for being a guy who can get on base, and that is a perfect way to end if this is the last we see of Xander Bogaerts. He too got his moment as well, and this one, JD Martinez was like kind of like, it was a feel-good moment, right? Seeing JD sort of hug and congratulate everybody, but Xander getting that same treatment scares me a lot, and we're going to talk about why in a second. But it truly felt like everyone on that team was saying their goodbyes to Xander Bogaerts, and that is terrifying to me. I'm not going to go in depth with everything that happened in this series just because I don't want this video to be super long. 1 and 2, let's be honest here, it's the end of the year, right? Do we really care who went 0 for 4 and who went 2 for 4? Probably not. I do want to mention though that Matt Barnes kind of had his full circle moment at the end of the last game of this season. He started off the season really poorly, right? His mechanics have been off for a very long time, but he really has kind of put himself together in the second half. So I thought it was really fitting that Alex Cora went to Matt Barnes for the save in the last game of the season. And before we get into what the Red Sox do after this, let's take a moment and watch Dennis Eckersley's last words in the Red Sox booth, because they are truly touching and Dennis Eckersley will be missed sorely.
I just thank you, Boston. Thank you, New England, for having me. I'll be back. Have a good one. I will.
So with the season being over and Dennis Eckersley moving on and all of these uncertainties, what do the Red Sox do now? Well, the big thing to remember is that MLB free agent signing period doesn't open up until after the last day of this season, and guys can't sign with a team until 5 days after that. So you do have a little bit of a waiting period for a lot of the moves that I would assume the Red Sox are planning on doing, but that also gives you an opportunity. And the first thing you should do is re-sign Xander Bogaerts. You have an entire month before he decides whether or not he's going to opt out. You can still talk to your players who are going to be free agents in that time. You can work on extensions still in that time, and this is perfect, right? Xander has said he wants to be here. The front office says they want him here. Why not spend some time, sit down with him, and figure out a contract, whether that's 5 years, 6 years, 3 years, whatever it is. Get him signed and get that out of the way. That is priority number one. Now, I know some people are going to be like, well, pitching needs to be important. Yes, and pitching is important. But when you have the opportunity like this with your cornerstone all-star silver slugger shortstop before he hits free agency and gets some crazy offers, you have the ability to get in ahead of all of that and say, look, we want you here. We want to pay you what you're worth. Let's get this done so you don't even have to hit free agency. You can relax this offseason. You can join Aruba for the World Baseball Classic. You can have fun this offseason, not have to worry about anything. And the Red Sox, in my opinion, are going to be shaped by whether or not Xander Bogaerts re-signs. Without him here, without that leadership, you are going to have to turn over an entire new page in Red Sox history. So with him not being here, I think that completely changes the way the Red Sox approach this offseason. And now that you have the ability to talk to him before any other team can talk to him, you need to take advantage of that. Now, step two, in my opinion, is to do the same with Wacha and Evaldi. You've got the time before they hit free agency. Figure out whether you want one of them here, both of them here, or none of them here, and really kind of dive into that and make a stance, right? We talked about it already. Pitching needs to be one of the top priorities this offseason, hoping that Xander Bogaerts gets signed before free agency. So you can go into free agency and really focus on starting pitching. And if you can decide between Evaldi and Wacha, get one of them signed and locked up before they hit free agency, that'll really give you a head start. Again, they could decide to go with neither of them, they could decide to go with both of them, or they could sign just one of them. But either way, I think there needs to be some sort of official announcement as to which direction they're going with the two of those guys, because that's something that's been uncertain for a while, and it would be really nice before the actual free agent signing period begins to say, hey, we're going to go with this guy, or we're going to go with both of these guys, or we're going to test something else out. Just be decisive in that decision for, the first time in 2-3 years we've seen the Red Sox be ultra decisive. We're going to get into that in a second. But the third thing I would do if I was the front office during this period between now and free agency is to extend Rafael Devers. This one should be a no-brainer. I mean, I have the t-shirt right behind me, right? Again, you've got this period of time where you don't really have the ability to talk to other free agents. You really don't have the ability to talk to a ton of other teams about trades and stuff like that. I'm sure you do, but a lot of these guys and GMs and stuff like that are focused on the playoffs. Take this time. Rafael Devers said after the game last night that he does not want to start contract negotiations that night, but after that, he's wide open, right? Why not get that out of the way before free agent period comes? Because there's a lot of work the Red Sox need to do this offseason, and one of the things that we've been asking for a while, and I think the front office wants to do, is get Rafael Devers signed. If he's open to it, and he's open to it right now, take advantage of that. Get ahead of this, get him signed, because it would be devastating to go into 2023 without a Xander Bogaerts, without Devers signed, because then you got to worry about, are they going to trade him? Will they be able to afford him in free agency, right? You're going to have to worry about those things all next year, all throughout free agency. And to me, it just makes no sense to go through all of this and not get Devers or Xander signed. So Devers wanting to be here, wanting to sign a contract should be a wide open door to pounce on that situation right now, today, or within the next week. Get him signed and locked up and get that out of the way so you don't have to worry about that in free agency. The last thing I would like to see the Red Sox do in this period before we get into free agency, make a plan. We've been talking about this the entire year, right? We talked about this going into the year. That doesn't really feel like the Red Sox have a plan for the future. We talked about it at the deadline where they did some good moves, they gave some guys away, they took some guys in, and it didn't really feel like they had a plan then either. This This is their time to be decisive and make a plan. Unfortunately, you've got plenty of time before free agency starts, and you've got the ability to go into free agency and say, hey, we thought about this a lot. These are the guys that we need on this team to make the team better. Let's go out and get those guys and truly push and get the guys you want here. Not because the opportunity arrives, not because this is what was left and you guys need to fill a hole, right? I want you to be at the forefront. I want you to make the aggressive moves like we've seen in the past with the Boston Red Sox, because I truly think there's a lot of opportunity here going into the 2023 season. There's a lot of good opportunity. There's a lot of bad opportunity, and the front office truly is in control of all of it. Let me know in the comment section down below. One, what was your favorite moment from this last series with Tampa Bay? Which player are you kind of happy got their send-off? What was your favorite moment from this series? And let me know what you think the Red Sox should do now that this season has ended. What's the first step in your opinion? Let me know all your thoughts down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, first off, be sure to check out the merch page. Like I said, you don't feel pressured to buy anything there, but just check it out, see it. I think everything there is super cool, so take a look at that. Again, it's going to be in the link in my description. It's also on my YouTube channel. Anyways, make sure you guys have also hit that sub button as well. If you made it to the end of this video, we talk Red Sox almost every single day. Just hit that button. Also, make sure you guys hit the like button as well. Helps these videos out a ton and would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seat.